Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I promised you some cozy chit chats and vlog style videos. And so here we go. We're going to get started with this. I want to share with you today about how my former life as a homeschool mom has affected me today in my midlife, going into the next stage of life for me. Both of my kids are grown. One of them is out of the house on her own. The other is in her senior year of high school at the time of this recording. And so I'm on the other side of just raising my kids, like really hands-on approach, homeschooling, all that stuff. That's done in my life right now, but I'm still mama. I'm still here for encouragement, support, and guidance. And so I love this part of parenting. Now, I've learned quite a few lessons in my homeschooling era. And so 5 lessons that I've learned, I'm going to share that with you now. So these are lessons that I've learned that still apply to me and still stick with me today. The first is that I've learned rhythms and not rigidity. Instead of having a rigid schedule, I leaned into the rhythms of my kids. How did they feel? You know, what were we focusing on in our homeschooling, right? What was our goals, right? Certain topics deserve a little bit more time. And if they needed that extra space to, for example, learn those multiplication tables, or if we were working on a project that lasted a little bit longer than a normal, like a typical school would allow their kids to work on, we took that time. So we weren't about being rigid. We were about choosing rhythm. And for me, that has helped me now in my after homeschooling era. In my personal life, in my business, I treat myself with the same respect because I know that everything that I do in my business, and I should just plug that right now, that I run an agency called Soul Podcasting Collective, where I help women entrepreneurs to elevate their voice through the medium of podcasting. So I'm a podcast coach, a consultant, and I love every minute of that. And so I'll leave a link to that channel and the work that I do there in this description. But what I wanted to share is that everything that I've done in my homeschooling life and parenting and raising kids, I'm applying that to my business. I'm applying it to my personal life. I'm learning to be less rigid and to give myself the flexibility and to flow through my everyday life so that I am actually able to accomplish a lot in my life because I flow with things and I'm not so rigid and tight. Now, I do have schedules and routines and I do put things in place and I just knock it out of the way and get it done because I know it needs to get done. But I'm very graceful with myself. So I'm going to get to that point in a minute too about having grace. But my second thing that I've learned as a former homeschool mama that applies to my life today is that I make home a place where learning never stops. So as a homeschool mom, I was constantly looking for ways to integrate books and materials, curriculum, resources, opportunities in my home that if my kids needed to have that extra enrichment, it was right on our bookshelf. It was right in our house. And if we needed to go outside of the home to get something, we had access to tickets to go to museums, to go to events. We went to operas. We did things together out and about in the community, and we met with other homeschool families, and we made opportunities and made things happen so that we could have community. But we also had those resources in the home that were needed so the kids could easily find what they wanted. If there was a book they wanted, it was on their bookshelf. I tried to do the best I could with that. And because of that, we ended up having an explosive library in our home with our bookshelves packed to the brim with books. And I had to give away a lot of stuff over the past couple of years just because we didn't have room anymore as my kids got older. But that just goes to show that we were really focused on providing that opportunity for our kids and making sure that, whatever they were tapped into, we were getting those resource kits, those educational fun kits, the ones that you pay a subscription for and they send you a little box. We would do all those things to make sure they had access to all the fun stuff. And of course, our homeschool charter schools were really helpful in that way where we didn't have to even put it into our budget a lot of the time. It was through the school. So that said, I just find that making my home a place where I am driven to learn, where I don't have any excuse not to keep learning, that everything I need is there for me. And if I need anything else, of course, there's the internet, there's ChatGPT, there's Google. Like, we can always find what we need. But to have my home enriched with those things is important. So I even had a video once where I shared years ago about the importance of the Charlotte Mason method and how she encouraged that education is an atmosphere, right? So even as a midlife adult, education is still an atmosphere for me. I don't homeschool my kids anymore, but now this applies to me. Anytime I need to learn, I have that content in my home. I go get the materials and I read those books. And so you'll see throughout my house, there are places where I strategically will place like a music book, or I'll place a book about business or a book about health and wellness, just to keep my mind geared toward this is the place where when I'm entering my kitchen, I'm going to flip through this book. Or when I'm entering, my office, like there's my music book, that it's a coffee table book, but it's really informational and educational. So I love having these little pieces that speak to me in an educational way and keep me learning. And so I'm a lifelong learner. I'll never stop. I don't think I'll ever go back and get any more degrees. I think I'm done with that. I've got my master's and bachelor's, and I think I'm done with school. But I might maybe get a certificate or something like that just for the fun of it, but nothing super serious anymore. At this point, I am learning for the fun of it. I'm learning because I'm interested and because because it's just something I want to do, right? And so that's the second thing that I have been able to apply into my life as a homeschool mom. The third thing is letting curiosity lead. And this kind of piggybacks off my last statement. So if I'm curious about learning more about health and wellness and a specific aspect of health and wellness, then I'm going to go and find that information to satisfy my inquiry, right? And that's what I did with my kids. Anytime they said, hey, Mom, like I'm interested in whatever, right? My oldest daughter, when she was about 10 years old, had this real just desire to learn about dolphins, and it came out of nowhere. And I'm like, what's this dolphins thing that you're on? But let's go to the library and get books about dolphins, and we will read about dolphins until you're sick of dolphins. And that's what we did. And so in the homeschool world, we call that child-led learning, right? I didn't necessarily drop all of their other activities and all their other learning goals just to focus on what they were interested in, but we for sure integrated what they wanted to learn, because it's important when they're interested to follow up on that. My youngest daughter was interested in dance, and so we put her in ballet. She was interested in music, so I started teaching her piano lessons at home, and then she eventually got on YouTube and figured out how to learn rote through rote and through and playing by ear. So these are things that we provided for them, the opportunities, and they were just telling us what they're interested in. So interest-led learning, right? And as an adult, that's something that I feel really, really free to do in my life. Is if I'm interested in something, I cannot wait to Google it, go on ChatGPT, get more information, find all the resources and links and things that I need. And then I'll head out to the library and get books and bring them back to my house, check them out, purchase them on Amazon if I really like them, and then learn. I just learn, right? And so I let my curiosity lead me. That's how I started this channel. That's how I started my homeschool podcast and my solopreneur business podcast, my podcast about podcasting. These are out of lifelong interests that I've had to see if I could explore that side of myself and if I could build something with it. And so that's where I am today. Fourthly, slow doesn't mean unproductive. Okay, so I'm all about taking my time and doing things and doing it well. But at the same time, caveat, I am also gotta get things going, gotta move, right? Gotta get on it and don't wait, because then you'll never do it, right? So I'm about taking things slowly, though. Once I make a decision that I want to do something, I want to do it well. So I research. I I go back and I look into what do I need to do to make this thing that I'm interested in work out for me and my family. And so this is what I did as a homeschool mom, right? So I was taking things slowly, right? And so if, like, for example, if one of my kids, my youngest daughter, was learning her multiplication tables and it took her a little bit longer than I would have thought, right? So we're in third grade and we're in fourth grade and we're still looking at getting those skills mastered by fifth grade, because at that point we were starting, multiplying and dividing fractions and decimals. So we really needed to get the multiplication facts down pat. And so that was a little slower than typical. But what we did was we slowed down our pace and we practiced through games and through repetition and with music and with movement and whatever we could do to make the multiplication stick. And so that was a long process for us. But once she got them, and it got easy for her. And math was one of her highest graded subjects in high school. So the thing is just taking our time and slowing down and knowing that not everything happens fast and that there's a process for things. And so that's what I do in my life today as a former homeschool mom on the other side, working multiple businesses, working part-time jobs. I've learned how to slow down myself enough to pace myself, right? And get myself into a rhythm that works. So it may not be that I accomplish my goal within 1 year, or sometimes within 3 to 5 years, it's still not completely accomplished. There are things that I still have yet that I want to accomplish, that I'm in that slow phase, that slow process. But I know and I'm confident that if I just stick with it and I just keep going and I go at these things at my own pace, that, it's going to be okay, right? I'll find my way and it will all pan out. Grace for myself, for my kids, my husband, my family, and the season that I'm currently in. So I learned to do that as a homeschool mama, because that's just what you have to do. You have to give your kids grace when they're not keeping up the way you want them to, or if they're not behaving the way you want them to. Giving a lot of grace for the parenting process. Now I'm on the other side. I don't really deal with behavioral issues the way I did when they were younger. They are taking responsibility, owning their lives and their decisions. And so at this point, I'm really a mentor. And so now I'm looking at, how does this apply to me? Well, because I've been practicing giving my children grace, I can now give myself more grace because I do it for them. So why not for myself? I have a couple of podcast episodes about grace-based parenting. So I'll leave links to that here. And I think it would be great for you to check that out if you are a homeschool parent. Or a parent in general. So giving grace for myself in the season I'm in right now, what that means for me is allowing myself to make pivots and to change things where they need to change. For example, this channel, right? This channel has gone through multiple transitions, and some of those transitions were not successful or effective. And I've had to recalibrate and come back to the way it needs to be so that I can grow my channel properly. But that is giving myself grace to say, okay, yeah, so we made a little hiccup here, a little mistake here. Let's go back and fix that. And if I plan to grow, then these are the changes I need to make on this channel. And then I had to decide that I wanted this channel to grow, because for a while I didn't really care. To be honest, I was just placing my content here because I needed to just rest and take a little break from this one, because I had my business channel and my podcast company. So I have other things going on in my life where this channel was just like, okay, these are for the homeschool people who would be interested in my homeschool content, but maybe they're not interested in me and where I'm going in my life as I mature. And then what I've come to realize is that's not quite the case. And so I can share my life, and I do feel more comfortable in sharing that with you guys. So if you're interested in knowing more about what life is like on the other side of homeschooling for me personally, and what that looks like, what it feels like, what lessons I'm learning, and how I'm taking care of myself, how I am moving into the midlife and moving into all the things associated with midlife for women, as far as wellness, as far as taking care of myself health-wise, and what it means to run businesses and to have several jobs while running these, vlogs and podcasts and all that. It's a lot. It's a lot. Just even talking about what I do right now is like, it feels overwhelming just saying it. But the reason I can do it is because, again, I've found my rhythm and I take things off my plate that don't matter. And I outsource and get people to help when I can, if I can. And I just try to find that space in my life to give myself that grace that I need and move forward with all the goals that I have. And there are a lot of goals. I have a lot of life goals. I have a lot of passion for life. I have a zest for life. And so it's one of the reasons I named this channel Mom Zest, is because in my parenting and motherhood years, I have felt so energetic in life, right? So Mom Zest is what I named the channel. But for those of you who are just like really interested in where I'm going next and how you can come along on the journey with me, I invite you to stick around because I have more things coming that I can't wait to share with you. Hopefully we'll get to take you around to show you sort of day in the life stuff, things that make my daily life tick and how I do it. That's my plan, at least, and we'll see how it pans out. So thanks for sticking around for the journey, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.